What is up, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. It's myself alongside here with none other than Bella.
Hi, everybody.
What is good?
What's good?
Well,
long day.
Long day, but we're going to recap this in a matter of 60 minutes.
Yes.
60 minutes, okay?
Think we can?
I think we can.
I think we can too. Yeah.
First, we're going to come with what we think is, these are the top bombshells. We got some good stuff. We got all of the exhibits. Plus, I think some information that we just want to make sure that gets out there. But yeah. So let me back this out.
Hector?
I got Hector, yeah. Again, come on in, everybody. Let's do this. Again, Bella is here with me. We're going to be breaking down some shit.
Some good shit.
Yeah. More shit than you can imagine. Did you guys get your Chinese food on today? I went with the pepper steak, added water chestnuts. Cheers.
Instead of onions.
Yeah, instead of onions, pepper steak and water chestnuts. Was that twisted tea time?
Yeah, well, is it this time?
Fireball time? I don't know. What are you guys drinking on tonight?
I mean, I could get some twisted teas. What do
Twisted
you think?
tea? All right. I'll have a twisted tea. In part, sponsored by Fireball.
Don't twist your teeth.
Don't twist your tit when you can just get your balls lit on fire. Crunchy, woo woo. All right. We're going to open this up with, again, some bombs. We got to bring them out. There we go. We're going to point your attention to the screen that we are kicking off, which is, ladies and gentlemen.
This is you. Take this. I'm going to throw that.
155. 155. Okay. Whoa. What happened there?
In this distraught and hysterical manner. You never once heard her say, I did it, correct?
I did not.
You never once heard her say, it's my fault, correct?
I did not.
You never once heard her say, I hit him, correct?
I did not.
If you had heard any of those statements, you would have recognized that those would have been important to note, correct?
Sir.
And you would have noted those in your police report, obviously, correct?
Yes.
Because you know that when you're drafting a police report, you want to include all the important details, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you want to be precise and accurate, correct?
Yes.
And so you didn't.
Okay, so this is Officer Mullaney. He takes a stand on day 2. This is one of the cops. This is really important. Officer Mullaney takes a stand day 2. This is what he is testifying to. Check this out.
Put those statements in your report because you never heard those statements come out of Karen Reed's mouth.
Yes, sir.
Now, while you were on scene, at some point in time, you were asked to participate in a search for evidence on that front lawn. Were you not?
I was standing by. I didn't directly search for anything that I recall.
All right, and when you say you were standing by the area where John O'Keefe's body had been, correct?
Yes.
And how close were you to that area?
I was right off the curb at that point on the street.
How many feet from where the body had been?
10 to 12 feet. 15 feet.
So maybe about the same distance as when I walked toward you, around that distance?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And how much time did you spend around that distance from where John O'Keefe's body had been?
I don't recall.
You were there for 2 hours, correct?
Yes.
So is it fair to say that you were sort of in and around that area multiple times during that 2 hours?
Yes.
Did you ever see anybody put up any crime scene tape at all?
I don't recall that.
You recall other
All right. He says, I don't recall that. Now,
Keep that in mind.
keep that in mind. Here we go. Day 5 today. A guy takes a stand by the name of Officer Gallagher. Now, Officer Gallagher, according to Bella, has serious control issues. He needs to be in charge all the time. She's basically taken him and squashed his nuts into oblivion. What I mean by that is she's pegged his tails. She could tell when this man is lying, when this man feels uncomfortable. And what were you saying to me today? Something about Officer Lank that really...
Well, there was, Gallagher went before we ever saw Link, and I noticed that Gallagher had a lot of deception cues around when Link was mentioned, and I was wondering why that could potentially be.
Okay. Well, let's take a listen to what Gallagher said. Now, you guys, this happened in January 29th of 2022. Officer Gallagher, had never been interviewed, ever, up until just a month ago. Okay.
A month ago, you guys, for the first time.
For the first time. And I said to myself, how does this man know everything about every body cam? I mean, not body cam, but dash cam. Who's moving where, who's where, blah, 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 blah. He had never been interviewed. He did not write up a report in this case. Okay. And he literally has been testifying that he did today, which is day 5. He testified for how long? A couple hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, here, check it out. I should have been the new Bugatti. Here you go. Gallagher, come on
Paul
down.
Gallagher.
Oh, Galley. Giddy up, Galley. We want to go with 55. Drop and give me 50 ho. Good.
Are you sharing that?
Okay.
The 12 to 8 supervisor, which our shifts actually run 11:45 p.m. to 7:45 a.m., but we call it the 12 to 8 shift.
And what, if anything, was indicated to you in this call from Sergeant?
Sergeant Good told me he was responding to a scene where a party was found unconscious, possibly not breathing in the snow. He stated his name was John O'Keefe. He was a Boston police officer who resided on Meadows Ave. He further told me that he had gotten a call earlier about John O'Keefe not returning home that night. His friends had called the hospitals, then they called the police, then they went out and looked for him, and they found him unconscious and not breathing in the snow.
So far, not too shabby for a guy. He's never been interviewed about this case. He didn't even write up a report in this case. Okay?
You guys, repeat that, Lana. Look, we see reports. We have all the exhibits. So what did this guy not do?
He didn't write up a report in this case. He was never asked to write a report in this case. Okay? He had never been interviewed by anyone in this case who was running and leading this investigation until a month ago.
His first
April
formal interview.
2024.
First formal interview was with Lally and Lieutenant Tully last month. And he is the top dog. If you'll hear that, he's the top dog at the scene that day.
Ready? Check it out. Here it goes. Bombs away.
And based on that information, what, if anything,
I told him I would respond.
where were you initially responding?
I was initially responding to Meadows Ave. I misinterpreted when he said he was a Boston police officer on Meadows Ave. I thought they discovered him on Meadows Ave.
God!
But subsequently, did you learn a different location in response to that?
I did.
What was that location?
He is on the stand testifying today that he went to 1 Meadows Ave,
Which is what?
which is where O'Keefe lives, his address. He responded there.
Now, do we have ring cam of that happening?
Excuse me?
Is there maybe some ring cam footage of him going to O'Keefe's house, maybe?
It gets better. Now, check this out. Bella's sitting over there and she's like, oh, hell no. She's like, listen to what he says next. Wouldn't you think that I don't know, he's not working that night. Let's also make sure we preface that. He's not working. He's not on duty. So he would be at home or at a hoe's house. But either way, he is not at the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So when he is called, he is a civilian, more or less,
Off duty, yes.
off duty. Listen to what he says, and you tell me if this makes any sense.
Make it make sense.
Location that you subsequently determined where you were going.
When I called the dispatch to find out the exact address,
So instead of calling Good, who called him, he says that he calls dispatch. What the fuck? Why would you call dispatch?
Well, Good was
But because Good was supposed to be at dispatch, or really was he? We know that he wasn't. He took a vehicle out. God knows. But either way, he calls dispatch and he talks to none other than Kelly Dever. She'll be actually part of the defense's witness list. That's when he, listen to what he says. This is the address that dispatches him to.
I was told it was 32 Fairview Road.
And that was from the dispatch, is that?
32 Fairview Road. That did not happen at 32 Fairview Road. It happened at 34.
Correct?
That's correct. It was Officer Dever who answered the phone.
Yeah.
Officer Kelly Dever, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, did you go straight from home to the scene, or did you go stop somewhere else prior to?
I stopped at Canton Police Department prior to that.
And what was the purpose of stopping at Canton Police Department prior to going to Fairview?
I was picking up some winter gear, and I advised Sergeant Good via the radio that all midnight personnel was to be held till further notice.
Okay,
Deflection,
we have
right
a couple,
there.
We have a couple things to talk about. So wait a second. You don't have a winter jacket at your house that you could put on and go to the scene. And then if in fact you thought that the scene was at Meadows Ave,
Right.
why didn't you go to Canton Police Department before you ever went to Meadows Ave?
Listen, you're boning out of your house going to Meadows, thinking there's a police officer down or whatever, okay? And you go without your winter jacket. You get there and you realize, shoot, okay, I don't have the right address. Instead of now rushing your butt because now you're late over to 34 Fairview, you go, hold on a second. I need winter gear. Let me stop off at Canton.
Wait a second. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wouldn't you have gone first to Canton Police Department if you needed winter gear
100%.
before you ever went to Meadows, right?
But if you don't and you do that, aren't you in a rush? And shouldn't you grab it from your home or your hose house, like you said?
Well, so I guess I didn't realize this. So at the police department, when you so you show up, because remember he wasn't working; he was just going there as like
A civilian getting ready to
yeah,
boot
like,
up.
but I'm gonna come out and help. So when he did go to Canton, then why didn't he get in a police trooper and take a police trooper car there?
This truck is a lot better. It had the tent in the back. The civilian
You
tent.
guys, and I'm over here like, wait a second, what time was all this happening, right?
Mm.
Because good old Gallagher here says that he doesn't arrive until just after 7.
Well, right around.
He says right after 7. Right after 7. It's really, really important. Right after 7. Now, check it out.
And you say winter gear, as far as you're responding to the scene, what, if any, other sort of equipment did you procure when you went to Canton Police?
It was clothing. I needed a winter jacket, hat, things of that nature. I was responding in my personal vehicle.
And if you know, about what time was it that you arrived on Fairview Road that morning?
I arrived shortly after 7 a.m.
And when you arrived, what, if anything, was it that you observed upon your arrival?
There were some vehicles pulling away, but parked by where the scene was were 3 Canton police vehicles and 1 black Toyota pickup truck that is assigned to our detectives.
Okay, so what we went ahead and did was we marked down. He's going to say that Officer Seraph, Officer Mullaney, Good, and Lank. Lank came in the Toyota, okay, the unmarked detective car, and 3 cop cruisers belonged to those 3, who Seraph, Good, and Mullaney. Okay, Seraph, Good, Mullaney. 3 cop cruisers. Lank had the Toyota undercover detective's vehicle, and then he arrives in his, civilian vehicle. Okay, and he says that when he arrived, there were some people leaving, but basically when he gets there, he says right here that he gets out. There's no more firefighters or anything like that. Ready? Okay. Now, drop and give me 50 ho. Then 126. Check it out.
I believe it's at approximately 57:17. You'll see
Okay, right here. This is where I lose my shit. And Bella knows I'm a number person.
She's really good with timelines. Like that's her wheelhouse, right? And you guys all know that because you've been here for a minute.
Okay. If you did not see today's, this guy is never supposed to see any of this. This is not his dash cam. He has
Whose
never
dash
been
cam is
talked
this,
to. This is
by the
Sarah.
way?
This is Sarah's dash cam right here.
Listen to this, you guys.
So it's none of this is his shit, right? He should have never seen reports, right?
Until
Okay.
maybe a month ago when Lally just takes them
Because
in.
he's not involved with any of this stuff, right? He knows every single move of every supposed person that he wants to identify. It's like he has watched this shit like I've watched now 210 reruns, okay? Over and over and over. But I said to myself, wait, I think I caught him. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, listen to what he says right here. Now, pay attention. The body cam, and you're going to see, because I'm going to move the Karen Reed Trial 5 down. The body cam is, or the dash cam is going to show, it's going to say 7:02 in some odd seconds, right?
AM. Yeah.
AM.
Time. Yep.
Now let's go.
Did you recognize what's up on the screen as well? And what do you recognize?
that's the video I referred of Canton Cruiser 683 on, it's dated January 29th, 2022 at 7, if the time is correct, 7:02:54.
And around this time, within this video from Officer Sarah's cruiser, what, if anything, did you observe occurring within that cruiser?
Okay, so right now, listen up. This is what he says. Listen to the time that he gives.
I believe it's at approximately 57:17. You'll see Sergeant Good begin to mark out the scene with a
At 57:7, I said, wait, why does he think that he's looking at something that's at 6:57 and 17 seconds?
They should have been there for that conversation, but let's just replay it for them. How would it, like me and you having this conversation? You said,
Well, he just talked that it was 7:02 and whatever seconds. Now, literally, just the next sentence later, he's going to talk about this other timestamp, which is 57:17. And what I believe he's referring to is he's leaving out the 6, because he's 6:57 and 17 seconds. Okay. So, but he has got it down to a science that when he has been watching this and knows about all of this, what video is he truly referring to that he has embedded in his brain at 6:57 and 17 seconds?
has it down
That
to the
he
seconds.
Basically Freudian slips right there. Now, check this out.
yellow crime scene tape. You'll see him in front of the cruiser at first. Him, Officer Mullaney, and Sergeant Lank walk off, and then you'll see
Officer Mullaney, he says that he thinks that this is Officer Mullaney with this crime scene tape. I died. Okay, because I knew that Officer Mullaney said, no, crime scene tape. Like, what are you talking about? No. This is really, really important because it has to go to the pictures. Remember all of these pictures that we're taking and that they're introducing into evidence.
All these
Okay.
pictures they didn't take. How
Well,
many
they
take?
did. They did take them, but I don't believe that they took them at the time that they were trying to. We'll get there. So this guy right here,
Gallagher.
Sergeant Good stretching out the crime scene tape.
And if you could, sir, as the video is planned, using the laser pointer that you have before you, just draw the jury's attention to who, if anyone, you observe or recognize within that video.
Yes. The yellow tape, it is. There's 2 officers with yellow crime scene tape. I believe this is Officer Mullaney.
He says, I believe this is Officer Mullaney. Now, you guys just heard it about 5 minutes ago. Officer Mullaney said what when asked about crime scene tape?
I was never.
He said, I don't recall anything. I don't recall anything like that. Right? Check this out.
But I'm not sure. I know this is Sergeant Good.
I'm not sure, but I know that song.
My apologies, Mr. I'm going to be very good to play again.
That's
Okay, so see right here off to the left, that's a light colored jacket, right?
Detective Sergeant Lank in the lighter coat, Sergeant Good and Lank, they walk off camera.
Okay, so right there, you see three people.
Mm.
He says, Lank's in the light colored jacket. He says, Good and Mulaney right there. So it's three people. Now, watch when they come back into the frame. There's going to be four people. Not three, but four.
Mm-mm.
Okay? And so guess what, though? Let's go back to how many people are supposed to be on scene.
Mm.
You have Lank,
Mm.
you have Mulaney, you have Seraph, you have Good, and you have
Gallagher.
Where the fuck is Gallagher?
Where is Gallagher, you guys?
He's not sitting in this car. This is not even his car.
That's not his car.
Notice how he didn't say, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. He's like, I think this is Mulaney.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, I could be crazy, and I'm known to be crazy, but something bothered me. And it was all about this guy talking about how he had to go get a jacket and what he was wearing. And
Winter gear, but he says jacket, hat, and those things. How about gloves?
yeah, he didn't have gloves. Or the person that was, using the little blow,
We want to call
the blower.
leaf blow, but it's snow blower now. I don't know.
The blow. And I'm like, why are they wanting to talk about, what this man's wearing? Does he normally not wear this? Is he trying to conceal like who these truly people are? Like, it's just something's off, right? Something's off. So check this out. Where the fuck is Gallagher? He has not once said, okay, that's me. Like, why is he just, how does he know who any of these people are? It is 7:02. He said that he arrives a little bit after 7. So were you there yet? It's 7:02 and some change. Okay, check it out. Check it out. They're going to come from this left side. So I'll pause it each time a person comes. Mulaney testified that he saw no one with crime scene walking anything off. I knew it right on spot. Okay. Like, I needed no research on that.
That was just in your brain.
Let me read it, see it, hear it, done.
And I was like, where the hell is Gallagher?
Yeah. Here we go.
You'll see Sergeant Good come into the picture
Like,
right here.
how does he know that's about to happen?
Guy is so
Like,
memorized
he would have
so much
never,
stuff.
this is not his dash cam.
Not
When did you
even.
review this shit? You didn't fill out a freaking report. You know when people are coming and going. So right here, he says the first person comes into the scene to the left. Okay.
Stretching out the crime scene tape. You can see it flapping in the wind there.
Flapping
See
in
it
the wind.
raised way up because of the wind.
What time is that?
This is the crime scene tape here.
Okay, now watch for it. Here it comes.
And I'm not sure what they affixed it to, whether it was the cruiser.
He literally just testified and said, I don't know what they like
I
tied
fixed it to. Yeah.
fixed it to. Okay. I don't know if they just tied it onto the cruiser.
Excuse me?
Excuse me, you think that they tied the crime scene tape to what, the mirror of the cruiser?
I mean, it's Canton.
Well, because I think that he said it for a reason, though.
Mhm.
Because what did you do? Move up the cruiser? Because you wanted to move up the cars? And what did you do? Yank it, and that's how it all fell
100%.
down because you ruined your crime scene like that? Like,
10 minutes later, crime scene's down.
or
Crime scene
did,
tape's down.
or did you truly never really put one up? But what this is going to... Wouldn't you tie it onto the mailbox? Isn't that where you would take it? You'd try to take it all the way down to the mailbox, and that's what you... Why would you tie it onto a car?
It's Canton.
Have you guys ever seen the police tie the crime scene tape to the police car?
Well, if they do, then they don't move the police car. I mean, they can do that, but just don't move it.
And this gets totally moved, right? 'Cause
Well, I mean,
check
that's
this out.
one of the things he says he was tasked with is moving the cars.
At that point, they're not.
Watch this. Okay,
But
right
you
here.
can see the crime scene tape going across the scene
Right there. Who's that?
Who is
that
it?
way.
1, 2. This person's on the phone. Who
On the
Link's on the
phone.
phone. Link's on the phone.
Gentlemen, if you could pause it right there.
Then I said, you know what? I got Jen McCabe's shit on lock. Let me take a look at it.
Where is it?
So I wanted to compare. I'm gonna bring you guys over to Hector the projector, but hold on before I do that. I want to show you guys going back one last. So remind us 702, 704, okay? 702, 704. Jen McCabe is not making any steps, by the way. And
During this time, yeah.
And in fact, she doesn't make any steps from 6:47 until 7:27-ish, something like that. Okay. Now, I went back to check out. Alan Jackson put in an affidavit in this case, maybe a couple of them. But I went back and was able to pull an affidavit where none other, Hector the projector, get it out here. Hold that for a second. Okay. Want to point out that he talks about length in a lighter colored coat. Good Mulaney never mentions himself.
Never.
Okay. Never mentions Seraph. Okay. And I said red flag right away. Mulaney says, he never saw anything to do with the crime scene tape. Like, what are you talking about? I had nothing. Didn't even know what you're all talking about. Now, I went and pulled Alan Jackson's affidavit.
Beautiful.
And it says, attached here is Exhibit S, are photographs taken from the morning of January 29, 2022, which depict the snowfall around the time O'Keefe's body was discovered by Miss Reed. The first photograph is a screenshot from the video surveillance system at Town Library in downtown Canton at 5:56 a.m. Shortly before O'Keefe's body was discovered at 6:04 a.m. The second photograph is one of the first crime scene photos taken by Sergeant Good at the Albert residence at 7:42 a.m. on January 29th, 2022.
Can you guys believe that?
Now,
let's look at that photo, maybe.
Yeah. Why is this important?
Exhibit S.
So this was what he put in as Exhibit S.
That's
where
a
it's
library.
dark over here and it's clear, like there's no snow here. Okay.
And that's the library. That's,
which is right down the road.
Yeah.
And then none other than does he put in the photo. This is Exhibit 38. Okay. The exhibit, now let me show it to you guys. Take that one down.
And he calls it Exhibit S because this is his affidavit
That's
before
his
trial
affidavit, yes.
started. This is from last year.
But here, I'm sorry, it's Exhibit 24. And so what I was able to do then is I was able to label this at 7:42. Okay, this is what you would think is before the leaf blower. You know how I can tell that? Is because it's not down in nitty gritty yet. Also, look at how fucking light it is outside. Okay. But this is number 24. That's that picture that Alan Jackson uses to show that's the same thing. Okay. You guys see?
Yeah, it's just a better version than the one that's in the affidavit.
Now, but take a look. Take a look at Alan Jackson's version. Do you see where the flagpole is? I'm gonna point this out. This picture would make it seem like that house is so far away from where this body is. Does it not? You want to talk about what they did in O.J. Simpson case? They make O.J. look like way darker of a black person.
You mean like Time Magazine's
You remember that
cover?
shit? I feel like Karen Reed's getting OJ'd right here. All right, because I'm going to show you how close, in fact, that, and I'm going to try to show you guys. And we want to talk about angles. It's all about angles in life. That's the flagpole. Okay, this is Exhibit 20, 7-20.
What they call
this 20.
The 6-inch burn.
Yeah.
Berm.
This is the berm right here of like the curb. Look at where the flagpole is. Okay.
Can they see it? You might need to point to it with your little. That's the flagpole.
Take that back. Let me take my 24 back. So I was able to start connecting some dots on these times. Now, this is what they said that they cleared off. That's the curb. That they all did that with their feet. Okay. You wonder what that also looks like? Why would anybody need to make that much, to clear that much off? It's very interesting to me because what that kind of looks like to me, just saying, is was there ever a car there at some point in like when the snow was coming down? And it just really weird. Just very, very, they said that they took their feet and they moved off all this part of the curve so they could get this picture. Okay. Now,
Gallagher testified to that.
yes, he's going to testify to a lot more. Now here, this is a really good angle of this flagpole. Okay. Flagpole. Okay. This is exhibit 21. Okay. This is exhibit 21. Look at where this flagpole is. See how way closer it is to like right where all this is happening? Woo! So much so that I was like, that's really not good enough angle for me. I want to show you guys this angle, which is
Which is supposed to be length.
This is
right?
what they say is length. Okay, we're gonna get to this. But do you see all this area right here? It doesn't look like this until after the leaf blowing. All right, right. But there's your pole right there. You guys see this shit?
It's close to the pole.
You guys see this shit? Now, here is none other than Leaf Blowing Man. And I went through this like a fine tooth, like for the past couple hours. I was going nuts. I was like, Bela, something bothers me. I was like, I get that they're trying to just show the snow, but why did they not show any of these men? Like, they made it a point to keep their faces out of everything. Like, why are we guessing who's doing what? Like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, that's me. Then I gotta look at people's hands at trial
and noses
and try to compare their noses and their hands to what I could barely see in these, videos.
We spent a good amount of time on hands and noses of Gallagher, right?
Yeah, we were really looking into this man's. Okay, so here's another angle. Like, look that's the flagpole, right? And this is what he testifies to. Gallagher says, Gallagher is like, I'm the operator.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Lank is documenting.
Which we don't even know because he goes over there and picks stuff up with his, weird glove, not his evidence glove. What is documenting?
I was like, and then Good is using the iPhone.
So he's recording. Good is recording.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember Gallagher's testimony, he was saying, I know how to control this leaf blower. Which I put LOL after I wrote that, but yeah.
No. These are all footprints back here. And there's footprints that go towards the house. Okay. Now this looks like it's white, but it's yellow. It's a yellow jacket because it's black and white.
And you'll show that, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna show that, but I was also just showing that because this would be what Gallagher is wearing. Okay. Which is seriously what's her tits was wearing. Katie.
Well, kind of, but hers was, remember we discussed this. Yeah. We were like, wait, that's what Katie was wearing.
I wanted to make sure I really truly got good images of what this man is allegedly saying that he was wearing, right? Because I want to be able to see where he's at, because we haven't seen him since he's arrived at 7.
And also, you guys keep in mind, he said before he went to the scene, but after he went to the scene he thought was the scene, which was
then he had to go to Canton and get coats.
He went to Canton PD to get winter gear. And when he says winter gear, he says jacket, hats, and that kind of stuff.
But doesn't get gloves?
But he doesn't get gloves. So this is the jacket he grabbed that before he went to save a man's life.
Or he borrowed someone's jacket. Or is this truly him?
Well, I mean, the nose. And,
yeah, I mean.
I'm a pick of noses. Got to do that.
Yeah.
A nose picker.
That's how you can tell. So we're going to get back to this part, which is, I'm going to put these back.
And if you show what you called 7, the exhibits.
Oh, can you just put those back on?
This is your S. That goes with that.
Yeah,
you want
let
it?
me just move these.
This is different.
Yeah, I want that back down.
Down like this?
Oh, it was. No, give me that.
So if you guys remember Lana saying that he's really good at remembering something that he wasn't involved in. So these dash cams, if you want to know something else he's incredibly good at that I took note of. So our notes matched. She was talking about the video. I was talking about the pictures. He is going through that evidence book of the crime scene photos. And he knows, and these photos are no joke, you guys. Like, one of them looks like the other. One of them is a close-up of the same photo. And he knows what they all are. Has them completely memorized. Gallagher, we're talking about. Very interesting man. There we go.
Now I think I want to do another boom. Here you go. Check it out.
No, I'm going to do another boom.
So I thought it was interesting that in this report that you guys are about to see and hear about is right here. Well, here I'm gonna let something play for a second, and then I'll show.
And then you'll do the sneak
And
reveal.
then I'll do a sneak reveal for you guys. Day 2. Okay, yeah, here you go.
Officers sort of searching that area,
Tell everyone
correct?
what it is.
Yes.
Again, this is back to Mulaney on day 2.
And while you were near that area, you were certainly paying attention to it, correct?
Yes.
Did you see officers use any equipment to clear some of the snow in that area?
Yes, sir.
What did you see?
There was a leaf blower.
Where did that leaf blower come from?
I don't know.
Who had the leaf blower?
I believe it was Lieutenant Gallagher.
When did Lieutenant Gallagher arrive on scene?
45 minutes after I did, approximately. I don't know. I don't recall the exact time.
And how big was that leaf blower?
Not too big. It was
Was it handheld or was it something that you pushed?
handheld.
And who used the leaf blower?
Lieutenant Gallagher.
Galaga.
At what area or on what area did he use that leaf blower?
The front lawn.
And would that have been around the area where John O'Keefe's body had been?
Yes.
And you were watching him as he did that, correct?
Yes.
What other officers were in that area sort of watching what was going on or participating in the search for what was going on?
I don't necessarily recall where everybody was, but I believe it would be Sergeant Lank and Sergeant Good.
And they were superior officers, correct?
Correct.
And you understood that these brother officers of yours were looking for evidence, right?
Yes.
They were looking for clues about potentially what had happened to John O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
And you were paying attention too as they were doing their work, correct?
Yes.
You were looking for anything that might have been out of place, correct?
Yes.
If there was something large there that didn't appear to, be appropriate for a front lawn, you would have made note of that, correct?
Yes.
And if
Wow.
there was something small there, you would have still made note of that if it didn't appear to belong on a front lawn, correct?
Yes.
At any point in time, either before or after the leaf blower was taken out by Lieutenant Gallagher,
Okay, so it's really important. He says before or after because I've been putting a timeline together.
Mm-hmm.
So before or after this leaf blower, okay?
Appears on scene.
did you see 45 pieces of bright red, black, and clear plastic pieces scattered all over the scene?
I did not.
And no one did.
Did you find even or see even one piece of broken plastic?
I did not.
Leaf blower.
MVP. He wasn't bought. Amazing. Oh
Now-
my.
When you came to the scene, John O'Keefe was still lying on the ground, correct?
Yes.
Did you see whether or not there were any blankets on scene?
No.
Did you know that one of the women on scene had a sister who lived in that very house?
I did not.
When you were speaking with Jennifer McCabe, at any point, did you learn whether she had actually gone into that house at all?
Objection.
Sustained.
Here we go.
Did you see Jennifer McCabe approach that house at any point when you were on scene?
No.
Oh boy. What?
Were you alerted at any point by anyone that she went into that house while you were on scene?
No.
Did you ever see Jennifer McCabe come out of that house with blankets or anything else that might comfort John O'Keefe?
No.
What was your state of mind regarding whether there were any first responders in that house?
Wasn't aware of that.
Nobody told you.
No.
Boom. And this is why it's important. I told Miss Bella, I said, you do know that nobody went in that house when they're trying to say that somebody went in that house at 7:35, right? There's no police officers that went in that house. You know that, right? And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, this is what they're trying to get out, because I'm going to show you guys. Now,
Miss Timeline here.
Miss Timeline Queen here, I said, there's no fucking way I'm going to prove it. Here we go. Take a
I
look.
said, show me.
She said, I'm from the Show Me State. Here we go. Take a look. All right. Ooh.
That fork just loves it.
Oh, that fork. Fucking fork.
Gotta fork you.
All right. Do me a favor and so okay. Now, you guys saw the body cam. Okay. Wait. At 7:02 and whatever seconds to 7:04 and whatever seconds. You saw that Lank, he said Lank and Good were outside. Okay. Like he pointed them out on that body cam, right? Now, if Good and Lank, when he arrived, Jen McCabe does not move. I have her digitals from 6:47 a.m. until I think it's like 7:27 a.m.
Something like that. Because I
Okay.
was like, look at her. What is she doing? And you're like, she didn't move.
I said, she's inside. All right. And I'm going to show you guys a spreadsheet here in a second. All right.
The
And-
famous spreadsheet?
The famous spreadsheet. Okay. And more importantly here, let me go ahead and show you. Then now, right here, this would be Good's report. Okay. Right here. Detective Sergeant Lank at this time contacted the homeowners at 34 Fairview Road and completed a supplemental report. Contacted. Okay. This somehow gets in there, right? But this just means that it happened before or after this and before this. Okay. Which is kind of out of place. Now, Sergeant Lank. I took this at approximately 6:24 a.m. This is the testimony that's going to be coming our way.
Next, you think?
100.
Okay.
At approximately 6:24 a.m., I arrived on scene at 34 Fairview. Sergeant Good, Officer Sheriff, and Officer Laney had already spoken to multiple witnesses, and the victim was being treated in the ambulance. I want to point this out. You guys can take it for what you want, but I want to know why John O'Keefe would be worked on for at least 9 minutes in the ambulance right outside the house. Why wouldn't he be transported and be worked on while he's being transported?
Do we have any EMTs in chat that can chime in on this?
And that's me being kind by just saying the 9 minutes because I think it's more. Okay. Now, then, right here, the ambulance left for Good Samaritan Hospital shortly after I arrived. I went ahead and I double checked with the firefighter stuff that we have. We have a 6:27 depart and a 6:45 arrival. Okay. Sergeant Good made me aware that the officers and EMTs told him that the victim was bleeding from the nose and mouth. Now, the first person I had spoke to was McCabe, Jennifer. Now, if he gets on scene at 6:24, right? I can tell you that Jennifer McCabe does not move 6:47. Okay. 6:24. This is what Jennifer McCabe is able to give. This is what he puts in his report. All right. This is wild. The first person I spoke to was McCabe. She was able to provide us with a general time of events. Jennifer was at Waterfall Bar and Grill in Canton. Then approximately 11, then they went to a different place. Then O'Keefe came with his girlfriend Reed. Approximately at 12 a.m., Jennifer, Matthew, Brian, and Nicole left the bar and went back to Albert's house at 34 Fairview. Approximately 12:14 a.m. So was she just like whipping out her cell phone and just like, hey, these are these times?
Yeah, Lana's like, look at this.
I'm like, what the
These
fuck
are
is
like
this?
exact times that someone would be it's not, how is this happening? I'm like, well, maybe it was after. She goes,
This
no.
wasn't recorded. They didn't take any notes.
This was at the scene, right, Elo? You know this, right?
This is supposed to be taken when he just meets Jennifer McCabe right there and then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, outside in the snow. Okay.
Well, I mean, didn't it also get established today during cross that good
we
wasn't
haven't.
there?
No, this isn't good. This is like. So again, this is what's coming our way. This is Link. Okay, now I have to. I'm showing you guys this so I can tell you and explain that there's no way they went to that house. You just heard Mulaney say you would have. Like, did anybody converse with you? Nobody told you they were going in that house. Nobody told you that. And then you heard Good today on the stand. He said, "Well, I told Jennifer McCabe to go in there, and they should see somebody, a familiar face, before we come in there." And here's Mulaney, who was there the whole time. He's like, "No, nobody went in there. No, nobody. What? Like, no, I didn't see Jennifer McCabe go in there. Doesn't mean that she didn't, right? But I did not see any first responders go in there, and first responders never told me that they were going in there, and first responders never huddled up and said you saw his little spiel about that. It was
Seraph said that too, right?
correct. Seraph said the same thing. So then, take a look. So at approximately 12:14 a.m., O'Keefe texted Jen and asked her where they were going. Jennifer responded that they were going to 34 Fairview Road. Moments later, a vehicle pulled up in front of the house, which Jennifer believed was O'Keefe and his girlfriend Reed. She observed as the vehicle just sat out in front of the house for several minutes. The vehicle was facing uphill with the passenger side facing the house. She thought the vehicle sat outside for at least 15 minutes. McCabe stated that neither party ever came to the door, and ultimately the vehicle drove away. She attempted to text O'Keefe, but never got a response. Approximately at 1:30 a.m., McCabe and her husband leave the house and give a ride home to Julie Nagel, who lives on Highland. Approximately at 4:53, McCabe was contacted by Reed and the niece. They were distraught because O'Keefe, blah, 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 blah. Approximately at 5 a.m., Roberts picked up McCabe and Reed to go look for O'Keefe. Approximately at 6 a.m., Roberts, McCabe, and Reed locate O'Keefe in the yard. He was located on the left side of the yard, about 8 feet in from the street. He was found unconscious on the ground, lying on his back. Roberts began to perform CPR. Wait, what? Again, she is getting this from none other than Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe says that Carrie Roberts was giving CPR, not Karen Reed. Y'all know who was giving CPR, right? Next, approximately at 6:04, a 911 call was placed to the Canton Police Station. Then he says, so this is now you would say like, oh no, Anna, he's just like, this had to come at some other time. No, guys, it doesn't come at some other time. Then he says, okay, all of this happens. He gets this from Jen. Then number 4 here, officers on scene were able to secure the scene as best they could as the weather conditions continued to be severe. State Police CPAC unit was contacted
CPAC
at 6:38 a.m. That's going to be huge. Trooper Proctor called back within a few minutes and was made aware of the situation. Again, huge. I said to myself, why aren't there any why can't we see anybody's faces? Like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Come on.
But I think that's weird because Gallagher is the one that testified to CPAC United getting called, and he wasn't there till right after 7. And that's also what I was trying to say at the other page was that it was put on cross-examination that Link nor Good saw John O'Keefe. So how could they
Link hasn't
describe?
testified yet.
No, but it was through cross-examination. They said, who told you? Remember when they're asking Gallagher, who told you where his body was? Well, did Good see him? Did Link see him?
He said the people that told him are people that it was all hearsay.
Right. And so
she was just letting it in.
Exactly. And that's why when Link says this, how his body was and what was going on, it's also hearsay. Because where did he get it from?
So check this next part out. This is Link. The only statement that she was able to relay to Canton officers, so while on scene, all attempts to speak with Reed were unsuccessful. She was hysterical and difficult to control. The only statement that she was able to relay to Canton officers while on scene was that she did not remember ever being at 34 Fairview Road.
Sure thing.
That's it. That's all he's saying. That's the only thing that all of us could get out of her.
So then I hit him was not something they could get out of her?
Reed later made statements via telephone to her parents threatening suicide. Canton EMS ultimately responded back to the scene, and Reed was taken to the hospital under a Section 12 order. Now, this is when he says this is what he does next. This keyword next. So all of this is that he's reporting on.
Mm-hmm.
These times, all of this shit. Okay?
It's an order of time. It's a time
It's
frame.
chronological
right?
order.
Yes.
So you're sitting there telling me that McCabe has her phone whipped out. This is what time checked on me, and then they did this, and then I did. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody has testified to any of this. He says, next, I went into 34 Fairview Road.
Now, remember what Gallagher said? His testimony today? He said Link and Good went in to 34 Fairview before he did.
Arrived.
Before he was there.
Before-
So that would be before somewhere around 7
That'd
a.m.
be before 7:02, because where's Good and Link? They're outside, who he's pointing to. By 7:02, they're outside. Okay. So it's like we're shrinking this window of time of when this could have ever happened. Okay. You guys following now?
See, that's why when we both start taking notes on something, everyone's in trouble. Because there's things that I catch, things that Lana catches, and it's just craziness. When we compare notes at the end of the day after testimony, like we did with Delphi, it's crazy.
So he's saying he did all of this shit. Okay. So it would have been after Reed is leaving in an ambulance. Okay. This is way after, remember, 7:34, you see a figure go inside, right? And boom, Jen McCabe's lighting up. So I went in to Fairview Road and spoke with the homeowner. Now, Mulaney said, I didn't say anything like that. Remember what the testimony was today was, oh, the lights came on.
Mm.
The lights came on.
And I knew somebody was up, right?
The lights came on. Did Officer Mulaney testify to anything like that? The lights came on? Like, no. He was there the whole time. He's standing right there with them. Officer Seraph, same thing. Officer Seraph and Officer Mulaney are like, what are you guys talking about? And they were there the entire time. None of this happened, y'all, until after. Let me tell you when. But here, next, Brian Albert and Nicole, both parties from this point forward will be referred to as the first name. And so this is what he's saying that he got, because then he talked to the people. Now, mind you, he has to be outside by 7:02. If not before this, because I can't wait to see this other body cam.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have this other dash cam for this time?
According to Seraph's, what we just saw, Seraph's body cam.
Yeah, and it's running the whole time. Like,
Running the
where are
whole
these
time.
officers going inside?
And where is Gallagher?
Nobody. Where is Gallagher?
Gallagher.
I don't even believe he's on site yet. I don't care what anybody says.
I
He's
do.
not there yet.
I think he's there,
I
but
don't
I
think
want to
he's
know
there yet.
what he's doing.
I don't think he's there yet.
I believe he's there. I just want to know what. And I want to know if he has his winter coat and his hat.
I just want to know if maybe he's inside the house then.
I just want to know what he's doing, man. That Gallagher. Paul Gallagher, step up, please.
Okay, so here Brian and Nicole recall that the victim had been welcomed to their home, but he never arrived. When asked about O'Keefe's demeanor, now check this out.
Oh, this is good. Lana caught.
If
All right, good
O'Keefe
job.
had any altercations, no, he said. Brian said he seemed fine at the bar and there were no issues. McCabe, the husband of Jennifer, also stated that he had observed the vehicle pull up. Remember I told you guys this was coming? But never saw either party get out of the vehicle. Okay. Matthew also reiterated that what Brian said. And so I'm like, wait a second. So what time does this guy get there? When does he get there? Does anybody testify that Matt McCabe shows up and drives up because remember, Matt McCabe wasn't with Jen and Carrie Roberts and Reed when they went to go look for John and ended up there. So that means McCabe, the husband, has to come by himself. And I'm going to tell you what car his is. Like, so, like, that's why all this happens so much later. His car, well, I'll do it here in a second.
Come on,
it's the SUV that parks on the side. Here, I'll show you. When he takes a picture, here we go.
We haven't even gotten to the.
Here you go. This is it right here. Take a look, guys. This is the McCabe vehicle. Do you see the lines right here driving in with snow? See that?
It's yeah, you can see it on your thing. That's true.
This
Good.
is when they start taking. But so the two vehicles are right here. This is going to be the McCabe vehicle.
Which McCabe vehicle, Matthew?
Yeah, coming there, 100. How do I know that? Because these two vehicles.
When Gallagher says there's two vehicles, but there's three.
Gallagher says, "Oh, there's two vehicles."
There's two
here.
vehicles, but look, there's three.
What? These two right here? Because he's like, "Yeah, I took this picture
Who
just
does
so I could
that?
say that it was 34 Fairview."
So I could show it on the mailbox. That's so true.
Look at the light over there is on the left, unless they have some flash on over to the left. But
The flash is right in front of you.
I'm talking about over here,
Mhm.
like you know the door.
No, that's a light.
I think that's a light too. But he's like, I took this picture, Exhibit 22. I took this one to show that it was to show that the address is 34.
That it was on the mailbox. He was good. And the guy's not stupid, you guys.
Oh, he is a total fucking corrupt motherfucker.
He's not stupid. In my opinion, he
I think he's
loves the
correct.
control so much. So,
Now,
and I
I
think
have a-
Alan Jackson sees it.
I have a question. When someone says that they went in the side door,
Mm.
like, are you? I think this is the front door to me.
Mhm.
They're really calling this the side door.
I do
like
think
it's just
they
like front
do.
door, front. I would never say that's the side door, but hey, I'm just curious to see what they say about it.
Hey, listen, if you are someone's friend and you all refer to it as a side door and it's a thing that everybody knows, what about that? What if you guys are all friends and
Look
that's
at
the
those
side door there, the
tracks.
Alberts?
Look at those tracks.
One on a
So
time.
this picture was not taken until after, obviously, hubby comes on over. Now, continuing on, take a look. In order for this interview to have taken place, when he went in, okay, again, they're saying, watch what they're saying here, that this happened before the leaf blowing incident. Well, Lana, how do you know? Well, because watch. While still on scene, Lieutenant Gallagher, Sergeant Good, and I attempted to retrieve as much evidence as possible given the weather conditions.
Mm-mm-mm.
And so then I said to myself, I think this is exactly why actually all of these pictures are so fucking light outside, okay? Is because I have Jen McCabe sitting for a period of time that it's a pretty long time considering everything else that she was doing. She was walking around a lot. But I have her, I think it was, I'll just pull out my sheet. But these pictures, we went and looked, these pictures are way later. Way later. These aren't it. Get out of here. So right here he says that Lieutenant Gallagher was able to use a leaf blower to blow away the top layers of snow. We were able to observe a broken drinking glass and multiple patches of red, which appeared to be frozen blood drops. 6 samples of this substance was retrieved by using red Solo plastic cups.
Now, where did they get those Solo plastic
They
cups?
came from the Keller residence across the street.
And who is Keller?
Keller is on the Canton Police Force. He is in charge of the detectives.
And did his Ring camera just miraculously disappear from that day?
Did he have a Ring camera?
I believe he did.
Yeah, it just didn't have anything on there.
I mean, do not necessarily quote me, but the man could offer nothing but his Solo cups and his spit. Maybe not spit.
So,
Have we gotten to the Kubota yet?
where were we? Right here. The broken glass was retrieved and bagged into evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Both items were returned to the Canton police station and logged into evidence. We've heard it today. There are no logs. Lane, okay, kept that shit in his vehicle, I think, until February 1st.
At least, yeah.
Because that's
that's when
where
they had.
that's where we saw today the pictures
That's true.
come from none other than
And Alan Jackson's over there saying, "Hey, look at that. Look at that wet
this is from
rag."
February 1st in the Sally Port at 9:57.
And let me just tell you guys why are they using this camera? It's horrible saturation, horrible contrast. You can't see anything. Why, if you're going to be taking a taillight off, would you not have a camera right there in front of the taillight? Why are you using surveillance cameras that I've never even seen? Have you seen surveillance cameras that are that bad?
Yeah, no, they're bad.
They're horrible.
So
Saturation's bumped up.
Yeah, everybody knows all this. So see
They
this
do?
right? Yeah. The camera just they suck. See this right here? This is a rag. Okay. This is where I want to show you guys. So right here, that's what's holding these cups. Alan Jackson pointed out that this is not an evidence bag.
He goes, evidence back. Excuse me. I meant, what is it? Smart Stop?
It's a stop and it's like a
Stop and-
grocery bag.
It's like a
Okay,
quick
hold
stop.
on.
What is it called? It's SS.
Yeah. Shop and save. Save and shop.
I
something
love
like
his
that.
witty humor.
Okay.
He's a really witty man, you
Do you guys
guys.
see the top of this bag right here? It is wet.
It's over.
It is wet.
It's right by the tail lights. I kept telling everybody nobody's ready for Alan Jackson. Canton ain't ready. Massachusetts ain't ready. You guys haven't seen anyone cross like Alan Jackson. Okay, like he is insane. He was the DA in Los Angeles. He was a prosecutor. He did Harvey Weinstein. He was his lawyer, and everyone made fun of him for that. He was a lawyer for Kevin Spacey. He got him off. And here he is. And it's just interesting. This seems like it's a bigger case than for him, and he's getting more attention than he did with Harvey Weinstein or with Kevin Spacey. And a lot more than he got with all the things he did. He did Phil Spector, you guys, in LA. He prosecuted Phil Spector in Los Angeles. He's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very biased.
Yeah. But I wanted to keep this right there at 60 minutes.
Yes.
So we're going to keep it right there. We do appreciate your time.
We'll see you in the morning.
We'll see you in the morning bright and early for jury duty.
Just be there, be square.
We're going to have the rest of good still being crossed up. I think we're going to have a couple bombs. And then Lank's taking the stand. And I'm telling you.
They just voideered him. They asked,
Bombs
the
are
last
coming.
thing before we left today, court, Canone asked to see evidence of the police reports for Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
For that thing with the brothers, with Alfredo and Mark.
Yeah. We'll see how this all plays out. So a lot of things are going to be popping off. But
Thanks, Elo. Thanks, Mods.
thank you, Bella, for all of your hard work.
Love you guys. Thank you,
Love
chat.
you, Mods. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.